Okay, so we have to send email from a Visual Force page. Okay, so we are done with the controller part. Last session we talked about creating the controller. The controller is ready. The only thing that we'll have to do is work with the markup. So before I get into the Visual Force page, let's quickly go into the controller and have a quick look. What all did we create? So we are on setup, Apex classes. Emailing class. This was the class. Okay, so I've defined three different variables, and we have also defined a method for sending the mail, right? And in that method we have used this messaging class, and through using messaging class I've defined the subject line, body, and to address. I've set these three things for the email, and I've also defined another method from the messaging class to send the mail, okay, which will actually send the email. That's it. Okay, and to address, as of now it's a static to address, which is contact Jeet Singh. Subject and email will be provided by us on the Visual Force page. That is it. Okay, now let's go into the Visual Force page, create the page. Okay, so on the Visual Force page, first thing, call that controller. Sorry, what is the name of controller? Mailing class. All right, Apex form component will be required because I have input fields and button as well. Command button, before command button, page block table, page block. Let me have a page block, and let me also put some title into it. Enter subject and email body. Apex. Input text value can be subject. Okay, so I say enter subject here. Okay, you can define a max length also for input text. So in case you want to have a maximum limit of number of characters which can be entered as a subject line, I'll make it 100 letters. Okay, or 50 or 40, whatever you want. Okay, the next will be the email body. So enter email body So email body also I can make it input text. Value can be, what's the name of this? Email body. Okay, let's not have any max length for the body. Let's have a line break here. Okay. So for email body, if I use input text component usually displays only one field. It can take any number of characters, but it will just display one. What do you say? One line here. Okay, so rather what you can do is you can make it input text area. Input text area will show it like this. Okay. So if it's about email body, you will have an option of entering the data for multiple lines, right? And let me remove this. The problem with visual forces, we have seen that that IntelliSense works. You get the attributes and list of attributes automatically, right? But now I'm not getting it. The reason is, if the component name, even if it is correct, if the, what do you say, the cases of the letters are not exactly the way they should be, then you don't get those IntelliSense help. So that's a bit of challenge. Okay, so if you're not getting it, which means the case is not proper. Though I've told you earlier also, Visual Force, Apex, everything is case insensitive, but this IntelliSense somehow does not work with that. Okay, so that is a problem. So I think if I make it text area, see, now it has started working. Got it? So if you make it, I mean, the component will work absolutely fine. There's no problem. The functionality wise, everything will be fine. Just that you will not get that IntelliSense support. So for that reason, okay. Okay, so it's 6 rows. So in case you want a bigger section for the email body, and let's say 50 columns. Yeah. So if you want to make this area look a little bigger, then you can increase the number of rows and columns, right? For the email body. So my subject, I have space for entering the subject line. I have space for entering the email body. There's one more component which you can use here, which is called an output label. Uh, Give me 1 second. I will show you. One second now. First of all, I'll show you what exactly it will do, and then I'll tell you what I've done here. Okay. So what you can do is you can also use this component. See here what I did, I used a custom label, right? I mean, I just typed in using the HTML tag. Okay, earlier I was doing that. There's another component called an output label which can be used this way, right? So when you're using this output label kind of a thing, you have to use an attribute for which object. So this is a label for which object. Okay, so this is a label for email body. So this is the, sorry, this is a label for which component, not object, which component, right? So I say for email body. Okay, so email body is this one. This is the component called email body. Okay, so you'll have to assign an ID for the component. If any component needs to be called by another component, you have to define the ID for that component. Okay, so I have defined an ID for it. It could have been something else also. It does not have to be email body always. It can be E1, E2, whatever is the ID here, whatever ID you define for this component, same ID needs to be called here. Okay, and the value. Okay, so this is another way of entering the label for it. Okay. Okay. So we've used an output label here. So both these ways are for doing the same stuff. You can do it using this output label, or you can just type in this thing. Works exactly the same way. Now the next thing that I need is the next what we need is the button. Okay, the subject line will be entered here, body will be entered here, we need the button. Okay, so let's go and create the button. Let's put another line break here. And bring in the command button value, send mail now, whatever, action will be the page reference method, send. That's it. Okay, so we are done with the markup as well. Now all that we have to do is enter a subject line here, enter an email body here, and click on this button. So if I enter a subject line and email body and click on this button, then who will receive the email?
We didn't mention the recipients.
We mentioned it. We mentioned the recipient, right? Who will receive the email? Let's see who was following the code properly.
Contact date.
Who's gonna receive the email?
Contact listing.
Yes. Why? Because we have hard coded that. See, email set to address is emails. This is a variable, and I have assigned contact Jeet Singh value to this. Okay, so the email will be sent to this. If you want more people to receive this email, just keep on putting commas and add those. Okay.
One quick question, here. Does it make a difference where we put in the page reference line? Can we put it in the end, or does it make a difference?
Which one? Sorry.
The page public page reference send.
Mm-hmm.
So when this class is kind of being run, so does it, silly question, but does it go line by line and say, okay, what I need to do, or does it read it in a block and say what is the execution command? So from there I'm asking, does it make a difference where we specify the page reference send line of command? Does it make a difference?
We are talking about this controller, right?
Or not? Sorry?
We are talking about the controller, right? Sonu? You are talking about this class, right? I'm on the class.
Yes.
So you're saying that in this class, does it make a difference if I put page reference somewhere else, right?
That is right.
Okay, so you can put it wherever you want. I mean, if you have multiple methods, you can put it wherever you want. The only thing is that any what do you say, variables which are being used here should have been defined earlier. Like if I'm using a subject, this should have been defined prior to this. Otherwise, because our code gets executed like this, right? So if it does not find that method defined earlier, or that variable defined earlier, then it will be a problem. But if you have 2 3 methods, it does not make a difference, whether you define this one first or the other one. The same way, messaging, this one should come before the messaging result one, dot send email result. But so that is important. So things which are being used inside the page reference, they should have been defined prior to this. That's it. Otherwise, it does not make any difference. Clear on that?
Yes. Thank
okay. Navyata says wants to bring this button in the center. Okay. There is another thing that we did, for bringing the button in the center. I think last example or somewhere. How do we do that? There's another component that we use. Page block buttons, right? Pix page block buttons, and put this inside the page block button. But now once you put it inside the page block buttons, it creates 2 copies of the button, one at the top of the block, one at the bottom of the block. Okay, if you just want it at the bottom and not at the top, then there is another attribute to this, which is called location. Yes, and it should be bottom. Yes, that's it. So you can work with it. Or if you do not want to use this component, then you'll have to write your usual CSS and do the center alignment. But when this is available, why to get into that? All right. So let me enter my subject line and enter email body. So we know that who's the recipient, right? The same way, the way we have defined our subject line email body, we could have made some arrangement for supplying the recipient also. But here we have hard coded the recipient. Now let me enter the subject line and body. Congratulations, your email is working. Okay. You have success. whatever. Send mail now. Okay, so the moment I say send mail now, it comes back to the same page because return, it's a return null. Okay, in case you want to go back to some other page, thank you page, your mail has been sent, you want to create one more page and redirect to that page, you can do that. But as of now, it's coming to the same page. But I'm hoping the mail should have been sent. Let me just check if I've received it. 1 second. Not received yet. Yes. So here's the email that I've received. Hi, you have successfully sent the email using Apex class and Visual Force. Okay. Congratulations, your email is working. So it's working absolutely fine. All right. So now you can actually do a lot with this, but usually, we don't depend too much on, these emails, which can be sent from the Apex, because the the workflows and approvals allow us to send automated email alerts and stuff like that, right? So workflow has an automated email alert system. So most of the times we try to use them for sending mails. Okay, there will be some scenarios where the user specifically wants to, have some interface from where he should be manually be able to send mails. That is where we will use it. Okay. Okay. So that's about sending mails. Please let me know if anyone has any questions here, any doubts, questions. No, you're all okay. That's fine. So in that case, let's go to one more example. So let's get into another example where we are going to pass the parameter from one. We are going to pass the parameter within the Visual Force page. Okay. Just one small thing. I want you to create a trigger, because we have worked on this thing. I just want you to create a trigger. Let's create a trigger on leads. Okay, every time there is a new lead which is entered into the database, I want to send a welcome email to that lead. All right, every time there is a new email which is new lead which is entered into my database, and email field is not blank, which means there is an email provided for the lead. I want to send a welcome email to that lead. Okay, so that is what I want you to do it on your own. I mean, I think next 2 days you have weekend off, just do it on your own. All right, so use this logic. I know that for lead we are never going to use this kind of Apex class, because workflow rule can work for that. But I just want you to make sure that you spend some time figuring out how it should be sent and all that stuff. Okay. um, there's just a small thing that I wanted to show you. Give me a minute. So we talked about that messaging class single email message method, right? So there you would see that you also have the option of putting attachments and stuff like that. So you can, it's not just, about sending mails. If you want to CC to someone, you have, set CC addresses, set BCC address, and define all these things. If you want to BCC to someone, you can do that. If you want to CC to someone, you can do that. Okay. And two addresses is definitely there, and you also have document attachment in case you want to attach a document. So first of all, you should upload that document in the documents folder that we have in Salesforce, and take the ID of that document and supply that if you want something to be sent as a attachment. Okay, so all these options are there. So if you want, you can try and do a bit of uh, work around on these things as well. Okay. All right. So now let's get into the other example. The other thing that we are going to talk about is passing parameters within Visualforce. This is comparatively simpler, and in this we are not talking about the Apex controller. We will work with a standard list controller here, right? So passing parameter means if a user selects a record, so if there are, let's say 50 or 100 records displayed, all right, and then you want the end user to select one of the records and see the details of the records. In that case, what you'll have to do is you'll have to pass the parameter within the page. So when the user clicks on a certain record, the parameter or ID of that record should be passed from one section to the other section, so that the details can be displayed. All right. So let's work with this. The moment I start creating the page, you might understand a little more. Sorry. Parameters page. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to create a simple standard list controller page. Let's say for account. So let's just create a simple page for account, the standard list controller page, okay, which has nothing complex, which we all know how to create. So I'll create a table and I will display the list of accounts here. Okay. So basically what I am trying to do is I want a list of accounts on the left hand side, and I just want to be able to click on one of the records so that the selected records details can be displayed on the right hand side. Simple. I want the list on the left hand side. So a lot of times you will see these kind of pages where the end user wants to view the list as well as the details on the same page. Okay, and he also wants to be able to select the record for which he wants to view the details. All right. So for this, I have created my list of records here. The only thing that I want to do is I just want in the right hand side, the other part of it, I want to be able to see the details. So for details, I will use a detail component with related list equals false. Okay, that's it. But in the right hand side, I don't see anything. Why I don't see anything? Because for detail record, I need to supply the ID. Usually we use detail component on a standard controller, and for a standard controller ID is supplied in the URL. But now because I'm working with a standard list controller, I've not supplied the ID as well. So the detail component is not getting the ID. Though I've used a detail component, but still I do not see any record here. The reason is it is searching for ID and I've not supplied any ID to it. All right. So that is the connect that you will have to do. So when someone clicks on this, that ID needs to be taken from here and that needs to be passed to this section. Okay, so that's the thing. So the ID needs to be supplied from, let's say, account name from here to this component. That is it. Fine. So concept wise, we have understood what exactly we'll have to do. Now let's do it. So first thing I need here is, first of all, I'll have to make it clickable. As of now, there is no option to click on this, right? So to pass on the ID, I'll have to make it clickable so that the end user is able to click on it. So first of all, open the column, close the column. And make it command link. Form tag is required. Okay, so I have converted the normal text or output text field into command links. Okay, now at least I'm able to click on this. Okay, but since I've not defined any action on the command link, I've not defined any such action. That is the reason why this link is there, but it does not take me anywhere. It stays on the same page. It does not do anything. Okay, so the markup is link, but this link does not perform any action because I've not given any action here. I've just given value. Okay, one more thing that I'll need to use here is another component which is called apex param. Apex param is a component which is used for getting the value. I told you, right? The ID needs to be supplied from here to there. So param will consume the ID. Okay. So this param component will fetch the ID value a dot id. So it will fetch the ID of that record. Okay, and give it a name. Name can be anything, whatever we want to give. Okay, now this account ID needs to be supplied to this detailed record. That's it. Okay, so on the detail component there is on the detail component there is an attribute called subject. Okay, subject requires the ID. All right, so all that we have to do is we just have to supply the ID which I have taken on the line number 8, and we'll have to supply it here. That's it. So now this component creates a new parameter called account ID, and the value of account ID is a.id. A is the record which is being selected. Correct? Just understand this part. So this name you could have given anything. Okay, so this is like a variable. Parameter is just like a variable. Okay, so defined a variable. The value of the variable is a.id. So it picks the ID from the selected record and assigns it to this variable. All right. Only thing that I have to do is I'll have to call this variable here on the subject of the detail component. So to call it, the syntax is pretty simple. It's current page dot parameters dot whatever name of the parameter. So my parameter name is account ID. Okay, so this all is syntax. Name of the parameter needs to come here. That's it. Okay, so command link should also start and end. All right, and within that the param component should come. Now when you click on a certain record, let's see, you click on green point, you see the details of green point here. Okay, let's remove the sidebar so that we have a little more space here. Okay, so click on Acme, details of Acme being displayed here. Select ABC Bank. Yeah. See this? All right. Now there's a small thing. Now when I click on a certain record, you see the entire page again gets reloaded. The same, old thing. Why should my complete page get refreshed? Because my page has this long list also, right? So this makes, refreshing or reloading the entire page makes my page inefficient. So it's not, a very good way of creating a page. So ideally, what should get updated? Which area should get updated? This area, right? This detail component maybe should get updated, right? So what we can do is we just need to go and do a small stuff here. You will need to assign an ID to the detail component. I told you whenever you want to call a component on the other component, you'll have to assign an ID. So I assign it an ID, call it detail. You can name it whatever you want. So using ID attribute on any component is like giving it a unique name, okay? Which name can be used for calling it anywhere else on the page. Only on the page, not on the code. So just supply the ID for it. So I've called it ID. And on the command link, there's an attribute called re-render. Say re-render detail. So then this command link will do what? It will only re-render this section. Instead of rendering the entire page, it will only do a re-render on this section. So the entire page will not get re-rendered. Okay. This detail is what? This component. That's it. Let's see if it works. One second. No, switch type Ajax is for the tab panel. It does not work for this. Command link, and what is the other thing that we can use here? Just give me a moment. It is does not work for that. Okay, sorry, small mistake. Okay, so logically, if we are trying to, do a re-render here, then what is happening? Sorry. See, if you look into the code and try to understand this, when I do a re-render, the re-render part is working absolutely fine. There's no problem with that. The only thing is, if I just re-render this part, then ID will not get updated, right? But I also want this section to be re-rendered, right? So that the ID gets updated, because ID is being supplied from here. So initially ID is 0, and that is what has been supplied here. So this is not getting updated. Got that logic? So if you have to do a re-render, at least this section should also be considered into that. So maybe what you can do is, instead of putting it here, if you put it here, that should make things better. Yeah. Right. So the page is not getting rendered, but only this section is getting re-rendered. The one with the list and that side. Correct? So this is how we can do a passing of parameters, right? Please let me know if you have any questions or doubts on this. So now if you also want to, maybe display the name of the selected record at the top, let's say. Somewhere, you just want to display the name of the selected record. What you can do is, you can call that using this. So you can define one more parameter for that. So there's one parameter. I define one more for name. I can call it account name. Okay, and I can call it here. The same for a formula expression. Current page dot parameters dot account name. So this expression will call the name of the account. See, this is where the name has come. So ideally, make it a page block section with one column. Title can be this one. And collapsible equals false. Okay. So I've just created a page block section on this side so that it can have a title, and title will be supplied from the account name. So the account name is supplied as the title. So same concept, I've not used anything different, just that in the title I'm calling that account name parameter. For the subject of the related, for the detailed record, I'm calling the account ID parameter. So you can define multiple parameters also. Basically what I'm trying to say here is, we can define multiple parameters on the same link and use them wherever we want. All right. Please let me know if anyone has a question here. Anju, you there? You just have to, do a small favor. You just have to copy all the codes. No, she's not here. All right. So no point. All right. So I'll see, if I'm able to, copy all these codes and share it with you all. Right. So work on these, and I'll see you all on Monday then. Same time, same link. Thank you. Have a nice weekend, all of you.
Jit, could you please also, Jit?
Upload the videos.
Yes,
Yes.
filled it.
Yep. So today's video also. So I think we had
Yeah.
4 sessions this week. So till last Friday we have all the videos, right?
Yes, totally 23 videos were there in the link which you have sent.
No. Do you remember which was the the last Friday's video? I think must have been, yeah, it was there. So this week's videos basically need to be there, right?
Yeah,
With us
and the
since last
last
Friday.
video which was entered is a controller extension for Visual Force page.
That's last Friday. That's correct.